there are 4 to 5 products that we've been focusing from tech spray and Chemtronics brand that I'm going to talk about, and they are majorly one is aviation dominant, and the other one is like the industrial dominant. So feel free to ask question in between or at the end of the presentation, and I'm going to be happy to answer any kind of question you may have. So hopefully everyone can see my slides. And if I'm going too fast, please feel free to interrupt me. The first product is the EmaroSolv MR 2855. That's the part number. And it is based on replacement for MEK and MPK. So I thought it would be best to tell you what is MEK, MPK. Most of you might not heard of these terminology. So MEK is methyl ethyl ketone and MPK is methyl propyl ketone. Both of these products are heavily used in aerospace industry for metal composite treatment. They are used as a heavy degreasing removal and most of the time like as a paint thinner, and you can use for taking some of the uncured epoxy sealants and glues. So why we wanted to launch this product, just because MEK, MPK is very nasty in terms of their toxic quality profile. They are on EPA HAP list, so there are constraints with the NESHAP compliance, and also they are on VOC list, CARB VOC Prop 65, and they are neurological and reproductive hazard involved using these two chemicals. So a lot of industrial application which comes under regulations, regulatory type of work, especially aviation. They're looking something which can replace these chemicals and as well as reduce their exposure limit into their workplace environment. And mostly our end users are in North America, but in if you have requests from across Europe, these are MEK, MPK are they are under EU REACH non-compliance list. So just FYI.
Hey, Saroj,
Mhm.
can you hit the slideshow? I think some people are viewing it on their phone and it'll look bigger.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. So that was about MEK, MPK. So our part number 2855, what we have formulated is we did formulation in the bulk configuration, which comes into 1 gallon, 5 gallon, 54 gallon, and also in the wipe configuration as well in a tub as an end refill. So just because our focus was on aviation, we formulated these one in rayon wipes, which are having AMS and BMS specification. So these 2855 has the same profile in terms of cleaning efficacy for MEK and MPK, so it's very much replaceable or even direct replacement for these type of product. Very similar evaporation rate as MEK, MPK, and they clean as good as these other two counterparts. They can be used for as a diluent for paints and used as a cleanup for composite shops on any kind of metal surfaces around the industrial or aviation type applications. They are biodegradable, so it's easily one of the biggest factor that which attract to a lot of industry on their waste disposal. And they are non-corrosive, safe on metals, and very aggressive chemistry. Similarly, moderate evaporation, so it gives enough time to act on the greases or the soils to remove those nasty resins or uncured resins on the surfaces. And this product itself is zero VOC, volatile organic content, so it does add, nice selling points to the customer. As I said, like this one was formulated for aviation and industrial applications. So I thought it would be nice to just give you some reference about where it can be used on aviation side. And then the next slides, further slides, gonna talk about the industrial use. So this one you can use either on the degreasing turbine engines, auxiliary power unit APU components, fuel turbine compression and metal parts. And then you can use for surface preparation for painting, paints and coatings to remove oil, sealants, contaminants from the metal parts, and also for the spot cleaning for OEM and maintenance procedures. It does have all the specification which is required for air, for aviation. We do have Airbus certification and Boeing from third party. And then, as I mentioned, the rayon wipes also meets Airbus and Boeing specification. It can be used in aircraft MRO shops, OEM composites, and engine overhaul. So it might be repetition from the previous slide, but I just want to make sure like you have enough, areas to cover where it can be used and how it can be used. For MRO shop, mostly it's for uncured sealants. Mostly we use PR 1422 in aviation industry. So it can be easily removed by this product and epoxy cleanup and surface prep. For OEM composites, epoxy primer, honeycomb degreasing, and paint prep. For engine overhaul, it does with very well with the metal bond edge seal removal. The next category for usage for 2855 is industrial. So in industrial segment, also the paint and coatings is pretty known in automotive industry and other areas. So it can be used as a thinner or overspray cleanup or resin dissolver. And the other factors where you can use this product is adhesive composite, like in board and fiberglass shops. And this especially for uncured glue or epoxy removal. It can also be used in printing inks for fresh cleanup or ink residue. The wipes are very easy to use. They can just wipe it down with our these rayon wipes and clean up those areas. In PCB world, it can be used for like small amount of like flux stripper or glue removal, or sometime for conformal coating remover as well. For general MRO, like factory and machine shop, it can be used for heavy greases or oil degreasing. So samples are available for wipes as well as the bulk. So feel free to reach out to us if you need any kind of samples to present to your customers. Same with the industrial application, and we did some videos which we developed within our factory. So you can see a lot of our equipment, which are like really dirty and old. They had a lot of resins and debris deposited. So Jessica and Neil, they filmed a lot of these videos, and there are a lot of other products which gonna be showing us some of these videos. So they both did really well to capture the usage of these products. So hopefully I can be able to show you. Can you see? And if you can, guys can tell me that if you can hear and see these videos.
We can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay.
No sound.
No sound here either.
I'll post the links to the actual YouTube videos in the chat so you can see them, but really it's just kind of a fun background music.
You can see that these wipes actually works pretty well onto like, the older surfaces, especially on the metal side. They are aggressive, so the only usage of these wipes and the bulk chemistry is on metal surfaces, not on the plastic. So I do have a slide where it differentiates between this product and the upcoming next product, which we will talk about in a few slides later on. Another one which you guys might have been seeing before in our presentation is ultra pure solvents. And we wanted to present this one today just because this is a specific niche type of product. However, there are not many manufacturers who are working with these ultra pure solvents. We are as one of a kind industry as a textile and Chemtronics who is providing our customer these ultra pure solvents. And these came up into life because of the 3M Novec opportunities we have been dealing with for past 2-3 years. So 3M used to sell the 7100 as a DL configuration, which is like a high purity configuration. So we started our project with 7100, which is our part number as 3710 DL. And then we expanded this series of ultra pure solvents to 3720, which is 7200 series, and then 372 DEDL, which is mostly azeotropic solvent mixture. So we can do all of these Novec chemistry in ultra pure solvent if you have any opportunity. These are mostly used for anywhere, wherever you need a very restricted or limited amount of contamination onto your surface. Any controlled environment where they need controlled NVR, that's where the ultra pure solvents come into play. We do have a PFAS-free version of ultra pure solvents. So if the customer is looking for high purity solvent in PFAS-free, our part number is 3910 DL, which is similarly for another SKU into our PFAS-free replacement in regular solvent category. The NVR for these products are below 10 parts per billion. So 10 parts per billion is really lower amount of NVR that you can see into these product portfolio from our side. And they can be used for oxygen line cleaner or rinsing reagent if it's a straight HFE product into that. So. As I said, the lower NVR is very critical for the stuff where you want to control your non-volatile residue to nanoscale processes. And those nanoscale processes can be found in semiconductor wafer cleaning, where you're just trying to control those NVR to less than 10 parts per billion for any kind of failure into the whole fabrication process. The other application is photoresist stripping, where the residue can cause any type of haze. And so we are trying to control the NVR for those type of application. And as I mentioned, that our product is less than 10 parts per billion. So it's really a high purity solvent that we are putting with our distillation process. Other application is HPLC or pharma type of application. It's mostly for analytical purposes, and that market is captured by these ultra pure solvent as 25% of overall of these high purity solvents. And other application is the advanced display optics, where you need the particle free of OLED and low organics for the clarity. The another one is in aviation industry, which is like oxygen line cleaning and hydraulics, pneumatics, where oxygen could potentially has a fire or explosion damage if kept in there in the line system. So to control those non-volatile residue, aviation industry needs these ultra pure solvent to control those NVR and to clean those lines. So very precise application, and at the same time, they are very high dollar products. Comes into a glass bottle to control the NVR of these products. Our lead time for these type of product is 8 to 10 weeks, based on the quantity. And also the samples are just not available. But if you have opportunity to present and we can work with the end user, it's more of like technical sides of the sales opportunity that would come. And we do, me and Paul does work closely with the end user to answer their question if they have. The next one is the ECO-PWR 1504 multipurpose cleaner. So 2855, which I spoke to you in the first presentation, and this one 1504, they both are considered to be industrial applications or industrial type of application, both of these products. This product is aqueous based, so it helps remove greases and all the debris, carbon cutting fluids, any kind of like oils or higher greases to clean the equipment without using the caustic soda and chlorinated solvents. So very safe onto plastic surfaces, very safe onto the metal surfaces. It's not as aggressive as our 2855 series, just because these are water-based chemistry. It's ready to use, comes in parts bottles, 54 gallon and 1G and 5G configuration. They are non-flammable just because it's aqueous-based product. So that's one of the selling point for the people who are concerned with the flammability of the product. It's pH neutral product, so there is no concern about getting down the drain. You don't have to do any neutralization if you're using this product. It is also a biodegradable product, so very safe while using it, and it does have really nice aroma into the product itself. It does have low VOC and zero global warming potential, no ozone depleting product, and can be used on heavy machinery. It does can be compared with the simple green solution, which is out there in the marketplace. When we did our internal testing, we found that it does clean much better than the simple green solution. So if you have opportunity where customer is having hard time to clean the areas with the simple green, that's where your opportunity for presenting this type of product. The key features for the product itself is that it does have a high performance decreasing for maintenance, repair, and overhaul MRO task. It is a ready-to-use formula, and it's not alkaline based. So anywhere customer is using alkaline solvents, which is harder to manage, they can use this product very easily. Very non-abrasive formula, so very easy to use on plastic surfaces or seals where other type of materials might be causing a damage to those surfaces. So the application can be on shop floors, workbench, forklift, tracks, loading docks, equipment and parts on motor housing parts, conveyor, gearboxes, fuel and engine bays, and areas such as like in your MRO facility, like cutting oil and coolant residue on machine base and the surrounding surfaces. The samples are available in the trigger spray, so it's easy to spray around, and then you can use one of our maintenance clean wipe to wipe around the surfaces. So it goes the combination goes very well with easy to spray and then wipe down the surfaces easily. We did one more video in our as you can see, this sprays very nicely onto the greases, and you can wipe down with one of our wipes or just like a simple rag. Safe on the plastic surfaces as well. This is one of the fume hood which had the burn marks, so it can easily take off that grime around the areas. So one could ask that what's the difference between 2855, the EmaroSolv MEK and ECO-PWR. So I thought like it's good to give you one slide so that you can differentiate between those two products and recommend your end user which one would be more beneficial and which could not be a solution. So EmaroSolv MR, as I said, it's a solvent-based product, and it does it's very aggressive. It does dissolve on the molecular level. However, ECO-PWR, just because it's a water-based solvent or water-based chemistry, it does act as an emulsifier and sponifier on the surfaces. EmaroSolv MR can be used on cleaning the epoxies, resin, inks, or heavy fluxes or adhesive paints. However, this ECO-PWR is only for heavy oils, greases, and very light fluxes. The weakness for EmaroSolv MR is that it's flammable and very aggressive on plastics, but then ECO-PWR is weak on resins. It is non-flammable and it can be used on plastic. The evaporation rate, just because 2855 EmaroSolv is a solvent-based chemistry, it evaporates fast. So there is no residue left behind or anything like you just use it and there is no workup afterwards. However, the ECO-PWR is a little bit of a slower evaporation because of aqueous, and it needs to be the area needs to be dry before going for the next step. The EmaroSolv MR can be used on metal surfaces and glass. However, ECO-PWR can be used on any kind of water safer surfaces, so plastic or metal surfaces or in some of the glasses. EmaroSolv MR is fully 100% evaporative, so it doesn't leave any residue, but then ECO-PWR does have like a surfactants, which is worked on, and it can be washed with the water afterwards. Similarly, like how Simple Green is used. The next product is the high purity alcohol clean room wipes. We did presented this type of product, I think 4 or 5 years ago. However, we just revamped this product into a different type of packaging. Right now, it comes into a double bag and it has 50 wipes in a bag. They are processed in a clean room environment, and these wipes are laundered and polyester as a base material. The size of these wipes are 9 by 9. The mostly just because these are double bagged and laundered wipes, they are used in critical environment and they can be used in any ISO room, which is 4 or higher specification. The inner bag is also ESD bag. So it is, you can use these ones into your PCB manufacturing or anywhere you need an ESD safe environment for bringing up products. It just because it does stacks very easily. So a lot of requests we have been getting for this type of products is for VMI programs. So a fastener or grinder can use these into their VMI machine. And they are pretty easily usable by reseal and repack the packaging. So the resealable is convenient to take to open the bag, and then once you are done taking the wipes out, you can put it together onto that. So we created one video as well for how to show the product. So these wipes can be used in pharmaceutical production areas, medical device and assembly, aerospace production areas, and semiconductor fab. And we do have samples available for these wipes as well. So if you have any request for the sample, feel free to reach out to us. Based on the same type of configuration, we do have a similar products, which is ESD preset poly wipes. So it's very similar to what the other product with the IPA preset. In the last slide, we did the similar type of treatment with this ESD pre-saturated poly wipes. We added the matte rejuvenator ESD treatment solution into 6209 poly wipes and packaging as like a resealable pouch for the ESD environment where you are trying to rejuvenate the surface area, bench top or tool grips, or anywhere like we need the static dissipative anti-static mats. And just because it's based on the previous wipe, they are also processed in the clean room environment and can be used in ISO classroom 4 or higher. They also fit into VMI program, and it also has 50 wipes per bag. And the only thing is that we don't put these ones in the double bag configuration. So it's just a single pack of resealable pouch, which can be easily taken, take the sealer off and then take the wipes off and then just put it together back. So the evaporation is it's not a problem. The evaporation of the product solution is not a problem into these. The seal part is pretty sturdy into these pipe. So the samples for these are also available, and if you need anything to present to the end user, feel free to reach out to us. One is just to make sure that we are staying on top of our regulations, And we wanted to make sure that we do have opportunities related to vapor degreasing of these single solvents, which are banned into some of the cases. It's banned to used as a vapor degreasing solvent, especially for methylene chloride and trichloroethylene. So methylene chloride has been on the prohibition for vapor degreaser since by mid of this year. And then TCE is also on the ban list for vapor degreasing. However, NPB and perchloroethylene, they are not on a ban or restriction use, but they are onto like a lower exposure for these type of product into your workspace. So if you see the ECEL for NPB is 0.05 ppm for 8 hours working environment, and then PERC is 0.14 ppm. So they are really hard to meet these requirements. So if the end user is concerned about these exposure, feel free to replace these type of chemistry with our Power 4 and Tri-V series, both in Texper and Chemtronics. We are going to send these slides after our presentation, and also we are working with our distributors to put these new product into their catalogs. So once we have all the sizes and configuration together, we will send all the catalog for all these 4 to 5 materials to our distributor to put these ones onto their websites. Any question so far? Let me see. I know there are some chat.
So Roj, it's not a question, but I'll just mention a couple of cases with the 2855, the EmaroSolv. I've had a couple of times where it just felt like the right time. I was with Cindy in the Montreal area, for example. We were visiting a customer that only wanted to talk about whether we could do things cheaper than what they were already using, until we asked them about whether they were using MEK, and they had a lot of interest in getting MEK out of their facility. And so we were able to move from a discussion where they were only concerned about price to something where they were concerned about health and safety. I had another meeting just a couple of weeks ago where we went into a facility with the health and safety person in that facility, and she was actually working on a project where they had a lot of employee complaints about rashes being caused by the MEK they were using in one of their work areas. So our timing was just perfect that we were able to walk in with samples of the pre-saturated wipes, and those are currently being tested right now. So I think it's one of those things that if you just ask, are you using MEK, and are you interested in trying a replacement in those locations, I think it's, especially if it's a health and safety person, there's a strong desire to get MEK out of their facilities, even though it's not under any kind of regulation from OSHA or the EPA or anything.
Correct. No, thanks, Glenn, for sharing that. It does help, clear up a lot of these where we can find these opportunity. And especially like MPK is a lot of people will be using MPK as a replacement for MEK. And MPK is more expensive than MEK. So there are opportunity where we could replace MEK and MPK altogether. I do agree that MEK is more cheaper than what our alternate we are presenting, but 2855 EmaroSolv MR is cheaper than MPK, which a lot of times is a replacement for these aviation or industrial usage.
Hey, Saroj.
Yes.
This is Mike. Regarding the on your PPM sheet,
if I recall, didn't, with all the fallout from methylene chloride and TC and them going off, didn't the MPB parts per million, didn't they lower that threshold? Because wasn't it higher at one time? Wasn't it like
No,
0.1?
so the 0.05 ppm.
Yeah, wasn't it higher though before? I think
It was
recently.
higher, correct. It was
Yeah.
higher. So they did lower the threshold. It was, they started as a 14 ppm, like how PERC is. The NPB is actually on the lower side of, now on exposure limit. So, this 0.05 ppm is nothing. Like, if you put, if you leave the vapor degreaser for 5 or 10 minutes, the exposure, you are exceeding the exposure limit. So it's the matter of fact that you're talking to the end user and the OSHA or EHS into that facility to make them aware of exposure or just presenting the risk of these NPB and PERC would help to promote our product or bringing our products, which are much more so safer and doesn't have any restriction.
Like, you know the case I'm talking about, but sometimes going to the state agencies that are regulating parts per million at the facilities around the country, if you could find those, so like talking to the
Correct.
masses here on the phone,
Yes.
those would be possible. They would be setting the guidelines for that part per million levels, and if
Mhm.
you could find what those are by state, that could help get our stuff in there.
Yes.
I have a customer that is using injection molding that I might be able to target, but he has opposite directions of temperature range. Sorry if you went over that, but I think I missed it. Is there an optimal or a temperature range that's optimal for the MR?
Optical temperature range for MR or like the
Yeah,
MRs
because
on
there's
MR?
correct. They're doing injection molding of a specialized, they call it black gold. But one side is hot and the other side is cold. So is there an optimal range or restrictive range of the product?
So it's actually, generally it's like 90 degrees Celsius. You don't want to go like more than that. That's the product, what we put into EmaroSolv MR. So 90 degrees Celsius would correspond to, I think, 190 F. So you don't want to go higher than that if it's a bulk type of application. For the wipe, I don't see that application could be a good fit for the wipe. So for both, yeah, I think I would not go more than 90 C, which is pretty aggressive by itself. So
Do you mind if I ask, how would we use that on that injection molding application?
So the customer is looking for a better solution than spray and wipe by hand. They're currently evaluating the dry ice and one other chemical as well. But the challenge that they're having is it's on the hot side, it's flashing too fast and there can't be any residue, so it can't be water-based. And on the cold side, it's not aggressive enough. It kind of loses its punch, I guess. So I've been working with them to see how else we can help. Hence why this is important, because little to no VOC is like a requirement, especially in California. I was just curious if this might be a good opportunity.
Yeah, no, I'm asking for that same reason, actually. So are you going to clean the mold? That's I hate to state the obvious, but I just want to make sure I understand it. Is that what they're doing, cleaning the mold?
Correct, but the molds are like, damn, like 5 foot by 5 foot. It's not small.
Uh-huh.
So it's a company that manufactures, again, what they call black gold, but it's like washers, O-rings, gaskets. but a simple 3-4 inch O-ring will cost $200-300, and it's a consumable item. So it's up there. I'll talk to my local. I'll talk to Brett about it after I bring it up to the customer to see how we can displace what they're currently evaluating, which is the dry ice sprayer cleaner.
Well, that might be an interesting application to share as we get further
Yeah.
down that path.
Understood. Yeah. Once it comes out, it's coming out hot, and the other side is water cooled, so it's not water, it's coolant cooled or something like that. So it's a little bit on the colder side as well. So I was just curious about the range. You shared the hot side of 90C. What about the cold side?
The cold side, let me check, because I know, the hard side, I know the boiling
Yeah, that's
point.
usually
and
most
proper
people's,
for
yeah.
it. But the cold side never been asked, like, so give me a second, I can give you that detail too. Oh, okay, so it says 2 degrees Celsius, which is like 36 Fahrenheit, so not too much on the colder side. 36 Fahrenheit. And all these products actually be listed on our website, so it's easy to search on tech spray or Chemtronics, whichever like belongs to those categories. So the TDS, the SDS are easily available over there. If you are having trouble finding it, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be able to send it the PDF documents. Okay, if no further question, then I can close the webinar, and I'll give you some time back. And also, like, if you have any follow-up question, feel free to reach out to me or Neil or Jessica. So happy to assist, and happy to assist with the samples as well. So thank you.